All right. Hello, everybody. How are you? So, we are going to be doing a live training for you all about how, or actually the truth about running and organizing your own events. So I may not be seeing your questions immediately, but let me know that you're here. If you're watching this on a replay or you happen to be seeing this at a different time, let me know as well that you have been watching and so that I can get back to you afterwards, because otherwise it becomes one of those trainings where you're busy talking and then it's just you focus too much on all the comments, and I'll do that then afterwards. So my name is Sashka Regina, and I'm a leading brand business strategist for creative visionaries in particular. Visionaries, assisting them to see what ship they were born to lead, for whom and why, by finding out what your life purpose is. Disclaimer, your life purpose is not your profession. We are multi-passionate human beings, spiritual beings having a human experience, and we can do lots of things, not just one thing. So I assist my visionaries to take all their interests and conglomerate it into one big vision, because all of those different elements that we've learned in our profession help us proceed forward to influence generations and create generational wealth. So again, I'm going to dive straight into the training to ensure that we are on track with time, and I will look at the questions afterwards. And I'm thanking everyone for joining me live. And if you're not live, watching the replay, let me know that you watch, because it's very, very important to me to get feedback from the community. All right, so I have to find my little button over here that I can share my screen and let you know my entire screen. I'm going to share my entire screen. So exciting. So we have over here an event list. Can you see that? Let me know if you can see that. No, you can't, because that's really odd. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share something. Bear with me, bear with me. I'm going to be sharing my screen, application windows, Chrome tabs. There we go. I'm going to be sharing over here the event checklist. What I have for you, oh, damn it, bloody things. When technology doesn't want to work with you, fuck it. Okay. I'm trying to be all professional over here, people. So what I'm going to do is stop screen, share screen. It can't be that complicated. Seriously, there's so many fucking screens to share. I think I might have found it. Event checklist. Here we go. All right. So the truth about running an event could be either online, whether you're doing a summit, webinars, you're doing workshops online or offline, you're doing a big event, you're doing a smaller event in terms of maybe 50 people, organizing, or 20 people that you're bringing together. Is it in the form of a workshop where you're going to be trainings, or you're going to be organizing this huge event with entertainment, as well as different speakers that are coming on board? And what I have experienced and want to share with you when running an event or organizing an event is that it is freaking easy to start an event. It is really, really easy. Visionaries have ideas left, right, and center all the time. So we always know, I'm just going to put this over here, remove from the screen for now. We have all these ideas all the time, and we just don't always implement them. And then we'll have that one idea where we're going, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. And it's really simple to put together an event. It really is. What it's going to test you, though, is on your emotions and your mental state. You're going to be tried and tested and prodded and poked and put to the test on so many different levels, because, and I'll get to this, there's 4 points that I'd like to address why on an emotional level. And then you need to align it with all the necessary marketing tools. Now, one of the exercises that I usually do with in a workshop or with audiences is to make it visual for you to see that marketing tools are just empty vessels. It's nothing more than empty vessels. So even just looking at me here today, this screen is an empty vessel. Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all different elements of marketing, the tools that we use, they're all empty unless it's filled, that vessel is filled with my heart and soul, or with your heart and soul. And that's what makes the difference when it's communicated to your audience, and what attracts you or gives you that joie de vivre to your audience, and vice versa. So whatever event idea you have, at the moment, it's an idea that's sparked, but it's also outside of you. It's still an empty vessel, and you need to fill that vessel with your heart and soul. And that comes from your life purpose and your vision. These things are so, so important. I've been in business for over 10 years, 11 years this year. No, 12 years this year. Fucking time flies. And I've been in marketing and branding and speaking and acting for over 35 years. And one thing I know for sure is that the old paradigm of marketing on focusing on the product and service that's going to attract your audience doesn't work. It just doesn't work, especially for so many incredible entrepreneurs that are now finding their calling, or finding an idea, or discovering, wanting to fill a need, and they're bringing it to the market. And it doesn't work that you market with a product or service. And the service being, I'm an NLP coach, or I'm an event planner, because those are professions. It's not you. And what we misled into believing, and conditioned to believing, is that we are our professions. We base our identity on our professions, because it started from a young age. That's the way it was. What are you going to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? So you grow up thinking, well, if I'm this, then I'm something. Rather than seeing all different professions as this fantastic, multifaceted array of things that we can learn. But the thing that keeps us anchored and centered and focused is our life purpose and our vision. And if you believe in past lives, I do, past lives, I do, is that we carry our life purpose and our vision with us through different lifetimes. So enough rambling. Let's get on with a little bit of the training. So I want to start first by going through a little bit of the checklist, and I will send a link for you where you can download the checklist for free, so you don't need to go and sign up with an email or anything. I would, however, appreciate your feedback so that you can let me know what you think of the materials, what you'd like to add, leave your comments as well, because this is great feedback for me, you know, if this is helping you. So I know you've probably heard this. I heard this a gazillion times when I was running events or organizing my first events, putting them together, events as well as in workshops and stuff. And the first thing you have to know your why, and you have to know your audience. This is so important. Why is this important? Because I started off, for example, wanting to do events out of an ego thing. Oh my God, it's going to be so freaking amazing. The most amazing marketing tool. I mean, the money that you can make. Awesome. Have you seen Tony Robbins? I mean, he has packed 5,000 people minimum in his workshops, in his Unleash Your Power. That's a weekend event. And he has like 10 of them or maybe more a year. I will freaking kill it having all those events. What we don't tend to see is that that took 30 years to build up, 3 decades, 30 years to build up. And where he started was with 11 people in his lounge. Sorry about that, people. Yesterday, even taking a walk I was thinking about Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, and how it took him 13 years before anyone discovered him or what he's doing or where he's going. And he happened to be speaking at an event, and someone saw him and said, we need to write a book about this. And that was his first book that he then published. I think it was Jab, Jab, Hook or Crush It. No, Jab, Jab, Hook. I think it was Jab, Jab, Right Hook. The point is, you have to know your why. Your why is so important, and your why comes from your life purpose and your vision. Ego will always play a part. It's exciting. Oh my God, this is so amazing. When you do a lot of personal work with yourself, it helps because you have the tools to quieten the ego a little bit. I love the ego, me personally, because it drives me. It gives me a lot of drive, and there's a lot of things that I learn within the ego. I never want to push my ego away, but I do like to sometimes quieten it so that I can hear the reality and not the survival thing. Oh my God, this is so cool, whatever. So knowing your why, and I'm not going to go into detail with this. This is something that I need time for. This is something that I work with on my clients or with my clients individually. For example, in the Future Forward Academy or in Wonderland, where I work with you one-on-one, where we work on your life purpose. And from your life purpose, we find out, or we put together who your audience is, who you were born to lead, and what your purpose is, what ship you were born to lead. And out of that as well is also your vision. I usually do vision workshops. It's not vision boards. We work on your vision that's always been with you through time. And this is that anchors you to see when you're wanting to create the event, is it aligned with my why for this event? Not having a why is going to send you on a freaking roller coaster, because you're going to be putting the wrong messaging out. All you're going to be focusing on is your benefits and features of whatever product or service you're going to be wanting for the event. The speakers that you hire or invite to speak, they're not going to be aligned with the why. They're just going to be any speakers that kind of take you for a ride or don't put the effort in, because not everyone is on the same energetic alignment. And I use this a lot as well, as energy and alignment, because for the longest of time working in the old paradigm of marketing, energy, your gut feeling, your intuition was frowned upon, because it wasn't backed by facts and science. Well, now it is. So, up yours. So now I can really fully expand and immerse and embody all the energy that's within marketing. Often I have templates for myself, not templates, framework to work with creating your marketing and your strategy. And I start writing it, and then my intuition will tell me, start with this. And I'll be like, okay. And I've learned to listen to it now, where I follow it, but it's always, always, always aligned with my life purpose and my vision. I don't go on an inspired action trip, energetic trip, that's not aligned with where I am or what my purpose is or what my vision is. So everything is always consistent. The brand is always consistent. My voice, my tonality, the personality is always on the same track, baby, fast and furious. So very, very important. And I'm just going to add this to the screen over here. And let me go. Yep, over here, you can see it. So there's an event checklist for you. And the most important thing being is knowing your audience and your why. You can find the link for where you can download for free this checklist. I will put that in the comments, or you can find it in the link if you're on Instagram in my bio. I will put that in for you. Knowing your why is so, 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 so important. Also, what's very, very important is knowing your audience. And what's very, very important, and I speak to so many different entrepreneurs when I say you need to know your audience, and they go, oh, I know my audience. I've been doing a lot of search engine optimization, and my audience have these and these and these keywords. And I'm going, okay, but the keywords you're telling me is more aligned to the market that you find your audience in. But who is your audience? Who are the people that you're speaking to? And they're like, I don't understand. And I'm going, audience and market are two separate entities. They work together, they're aligned with one another, but they're two separate entities. Now, your market is where you find your audience. For example, my market is the lifestyle market. That includes entrepreneurs, innovators, visionaries, designers, creatives, authors, health and wellness, everything to do with lifestyle. That is my audience, my market. I even did it. Oh my God. The market is also where your interest lies. I don't market to a market that I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in marketing to doctors, unless it's a doctor that's a visionary that's going, you know what, I've absolutely loved doing what I do, but I have such a huge interest in the lifestyle market of alternative medicine, alternative thinking, energetic alignment, healing. I'm so interested in this, and I want to start expanding in this and working on this and creating my brand from that. Then you're my person, right? But most of the markets are very profession-based. You know, it'll be the stock market, it'll be the financial market, it'll be the what's called like the print medium. So magazines, books, brochures, flyers, or you'll be forestry or mountaineering. So there's different markets, and markets are more based on your profession. Your audience, on the other hand, to simplify it, is categorized, but not exclusively, according to demographics and psychographics. And what marketers tend to, from the old paradigm, focus on when entrepreneurs come into working with their audience or finding their audience, or what's normally referred to as your target audience, is based on the demographics. How old are they? What profession are they? Are they a mom? Are they a dad? Are they, what's their gender? What's their race? How much do they earn? Where do they live? Where have they always lived? What are their habits? And all of that information is then accumulated, and that's your audience. Now, I have experienced through my over 35 years of, I'm going on 4 decades of doing this. It's freaking amazing. Anyway, so sidetracked myself. I have seen that just focusing on the demographics and partially psychographics, because not all entrepreneurs understand psychographics, that being the psychology of your consumers, their behavior, their thinking patterns, their thought patterns, their decision-making patterns, where they're coming from, in terms of energy, in terms of alignment, in terms of thought leadership, in terms of how they want to create generational wealth. There's so much psychology involved, and not every entrepreneur understands this. And what I do with my clients is to help them understand their audience through their life purpose and their vision, and break it down so that you're able to communicate with content, and that the search engine optimization keywords, long or short keywords, are aligned with the audience because they're human beings, they're spiritual beings, human beings, not just numbers, and how you can communicate with that person. So for me, my tribe are creative visionaries, and I've worked on visionaries for the last 5-7 years that I've been working on creative visionaries for myself, researching, finding out information, doing surveys, doing lots of lives, putting together information. How do they think? How do they make their decisions? Who do they like to be with? What is it that holds them back? Why does this hold them back? What are their patterns that they usually fall into? And yes, it's not like this is written, it's in stone. This is the way the visionaries are, but it's something for me to start with and to move forward with. And I have a direction as opposed to just like shooting in the dark. Like, I don't know who this person is, So when you're organizing your event, knowing who your audience is, not necessarily the market, because that's just, okay, I'm doing a business event. That's a market. But knowing who the audience is so, so important, because you want to be attracting your people. The reason you're doing an event, or part of the why of why you're doing the event, is because you want to create generational wealth, knowledge, and influence in generations. So you're starting an event not to just be once off, but you're wanting to do it every single year, repetitively. So this is the beginning of something that's going to be doing repeated every single year. And where you start and where you finish, those are two different stories. Tony Robbins started with 11 people in his lounge. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's one of the most well-known personal development coaches in the world. And he started with 11 people in his lounge, and he's progressed to having over 10 congregations of minimum 5,000 people that attend his weekend events. One of his events, he has many, but he had to start somewhere. But he obviously didn't know then who his audience was, and then grew to understand who his audience was and targeted his marketing and his information exactly to those people, to his people. And what I help and alleviate for my audience is not to wait until then to understand who your audience is. I don't want to take away the lessons that need to be learned. I bring for you to see these are my people, and then moving forward, speaking to your people and still learning the lessons and not wasting unnecessary time focusing on crap. Anyway, so that is for the first thing that you need to know. Oops, yep, we got that back. We got the event checklist, is knowing your audience and knowing your why. And if you have any questions, then please let me know. I will read the comments afterwards so I can find out who is here with me live. Also, so that I can find out what questions that you have so that I can answer them. Because I love questions. You give me direction on what you will need to be answered. Okay, so one of the next things is a team. You need to know, I'm going to just leave this over here. You need to organize a team. Now, I'm very lucky in that I have experience in the whole marketing and advertising market. So, I've been in this business for a long time, and I haven't just focused on one thing, for example, just business consulting or writing business plans. I've gone on a very long journey understanding psychology, mediating, industrial organizational psychology, NLP, understanding how consumers think, their human behavior, how to put your website together, how to design it, how to develop it. Copywriting courses I've been on, blog courses I've been on, not just being on the course, but I've also implemented the knowledge that I've learned and put it to the test, because practice makes perfect. That is very, very important. What visionaries tend to do is thinking makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. So you need to take your knowledge and implement it. And even if you fall flat on your face, who gives a fuck? You get back up, put your crown on, and you carry on moving forward, and you learn the next step, because practice makes perfect. So I've taken all this information, graphic design, logo design, what else is there? Business plans, putting together sales pages, putting together funnels, all of this information, putting together Instagram stories, social media strategy, speaking. I've implemented all of my knowledge, and I've perfected or mastered, I'll put it that way, I won't say I'm perfect. I've mastered those elements that are necessary in order to build a brand and a business that are going to that is going to influence generations and create generational wealth. However, not everybody has this. So you need to know that you need a team. And I've also listed within the checklist, what do you need, for example, for your team? I would suggest having an assistant that is able to send out emails to sponsors, to speakers, having speaker agreements, ensuring that the speaker agreements are signed. If you don't have, well, I won't get to that now, but organizing with the visuals for marketing and advertising, that your speakers are giving marketing material so that they're also able to advertise, working with you on email marketing and all the marketing vessels for the advertising, that you have an assistant to assist you. There may also be that you need to involve someone around your website and a website development. This is also important. It's also a marketing tool that you need. And doing it all on your own, if you're not experienced in this, it's emotionally going to finish you off, because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. You need to do the copywriting. The website might go down. The domain is not available. Your event name doesn't work. And I have a kind of mind map for you as well to see what it is that you all need for the event to run it. Actually, I might just show you that now. Let me just have a look here. Uno momento, please. I'm just finding the right thing. Oh, there we go. So this is, for example, for your team, and it's easier for them to see, to go, oh my God, these are all the things that I need for my event. And you need an assistant to help you. Finding the location, catering, even if you're having a small workshop, putting that together. Even if it's an online event and you're doing a summit, you might not need the venue or the location or anything in terms of a physical location, but it may be taking place via Zoom or an online tool, StreamYard, where you're bringing people together and they need to know, they need an email with regards to the link, the dates, making sure everything's working, and putting those things into context. And it's really, really helpful for you to have a team. Pardon me. The next thing that we need is also budgeting. I'm going to be honest over here. A budget is something, when I started off my events, I did not have any budget. I used a lot of my savings, and a lot of organizers said to me, you're crazy doing it all on your own and you don't have the sponsors. And I was like, well, I have to start somewhere. I'm not going to wait for something to first get the sponsors and first get the money and then do the event. I just went and did it because that's the way that I am. That's the way that I work. So everyone works differently, but a budget is always helpful. And what I have tried to do in this checklist for you is to see what things, don't touch my face, what things are necessary to budget for. Things like the venue, food and drinks, or entertainment. Are you going to need decoration, the marketing, transport, software, AV, what's called in English, like a reserve amount of budget, so that something might just go wrong. For example, with the virus that's going around right now, and suddenly you can't make things happen, so you need to jiggle things around a little bit, and how you're going to jiggle it and where you're going to jiggle it around to, and for what. I'm just going to stop streaming this one over here. The next thing that we're going to know is your date. When are you going to be setting up? When is your event going to actually happen? Now, this is for me, my inspired action that comes into place, and my intuition is that a date and a month will come to me when I need to be at peace. So I need to be grounded. So I'm either going for a walk or not thinking about things, where a date and a time will come to me and they'll put that out. And often the dates and the times don't get accepted by the audience. And they're like, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then I leave it. And then I see that so many doors are closing that somehow something's not working. For example, after my event in South Africa, I wanted to run a retreat, and I planned it for May and put it out there. We're going to be doing it in May, and many of the, not many, partial attendees were like, oh, May is too soon. I don't have the budget. No. And the doors were closing on the dates. And I was like, okay, I'll try them for November. And everyone was like, yep, cool, November, awesome, that's so cool. And then I consulted the lodge that I wanted to be holding the event at and the dates. And they were like, September to November, no go. Sorry, we can't help you there. But in August, we can. And I was like, there's too many doors closing. And then the virus popped up, and then there's a lockdown. So the universe knows you just really need to learn. Practice makes perfect in tuning into your intuition, because you'll be able to get the information that you need with regards to the date. Same thing with the venue. I contacted some incredible people that help you find a venue, consulted some friends, or actually one friend that gave me a lot of useful information to find out different venues for my upcoming event in October. It's an in-person event. It's only by invite and application. It's only for 80 people. futureforwardhub.com if you want to look that up. And finding a venue was really, really difficult, but I'm keeping my eyes and ears open. And someone posted something about events and venues, and I clicked on one of the suggestions, and I was like, that's it. That's where we're holding the event. That's it. Everything just went, I'm aligned. It's happening with that. It was the same with the retreat. The location was just, or the venue is just amazing, and it made me feel like I was there as well. It made my heart sing. It's just not the right timing. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but you need to look into the venue and feel and really visualize the people there. Are they going to be aligned, pardon me, with your why and the reason why for that you're holding this event? Is that feeling that you want for this event actually duplicated in this venue or location that you're going to be hiring? Speakers. Oh, this is a big thing. Speakers. So my viewpoint, this is my viewpoint. Every organizer is different when hiring speakers. I don't pay my speakers unless the speaker has an extremely highly engaged community. Not followers, because you can have a lot of followers, but if you're not engaged with your audience, and I can see that there's people responding and people are loving you and you're responding back to them, then I pay for you. But other than that, I don't pay for my speakers. It's not that I don't value you. It's not that I don't value you as a speaker or see your worth. For me as an event organizer, when I'm putting an event on, I have costs that I need to pay, and I want my vision actualized. And the speakers that are invited, it's not that they walk away empty-handed. I always ensure that my speakers have video, high quality video that they can use for their show reel. They have photos that they can use also for their show reels and for their marketing afterwards as well. They also have an affiliate link, so whatever monies or tickets are sold, they get a percentage of that if they're selling tickets. I'm very open about that with my speakers as well, but I don't pay them explicitly, this is the fee that you're going to be getting for what you're speaking for. And should the event bring in more than what I expected, I will also consider paying for travel and accommodation, because I know for myself as a speaker, it's not so much the speaking that's being paid for, but it's also the expenses, but it's the travel and accommodation that's really expensive. So I look to see that that's then reimbursed as well. But that's a personal choice. It's up to you with regards to the speakers. What's important is to align them with your vision and with your purpose, your why. Another thing is sponsors and partners. This is so... It can be very, very difficult with sponsors and partners, especially because businesses plan up to 2 years in advance who they're sponsoring, what they're sponsoring, and why they're sponsoring. So what I like to do is bring in partners where we exchange services as opposed to monetary, which lowers the load of the costs of the event being held, and we all benefit in some way or another. This goes hand in hand also with branding. I want to speak about branding because, sorry about that. I thought I was sharing the screen. Clearly I wasn't. Sorry about that. When it comes to branding, I never start any marketing process with the branding. I always start first with the life purpose and the vision, because that shows me who's going to be creating your branding, in what direction your brand is moving. What happens is that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs go into branding where they are at the moment. So it might be a doggy parlor at the moment, or life coaching, or you're an author right now. And that branding is very product or service based. In a few years, usually it's about 8-10 years, we have our cycles, and there's something that shifts and you go, I don't feel aligned anymore with this brand. I don't feel that where this brand is going or what the branding looks like is me anymore, because I want to change the direction that I'm moving in. And as a result, then you do another branding. And then it's not building the community per se, but getting the community to get adjusted to the new look and the new tonality and the personality. That goes for another 10 years. And what I do with my clients is that I don't see the branding as a once-off. It's an umbrella brand, and they're different sub-brands. For example, I have brand Sashka, and underneath that, I have my different sub-brands. I have my events, for example, futureforwardhub.com. I have Future Forward Academy, and I have Wonderland, where I work with my clients one-on-one and help assist in building businesses and brands. And business investing. Then there's also the podcast, but it all stems from the umbrella brand and the personality and the tonality that trickles down into everything else. There might be a little bit of a shift in the different look and feel of the branding, but it's very similar. You can see that's one brand that's working together. That branding is essential when you're running an event. It's essential because it's just the way it is. We like pretty things. We were designed to like pretty things, cute things. Babies are born, not all babies, but babies are born with that cuteness about them so that the mother can faff over them. They have that nurturing towards them. We want to nurture that. When we see puppies and kittens, oh my God, that's so cute, or little baby sloths, oh my God, it's so cute. We like the pretty things. We're just naturally attracted to it. And it's the same in businesses, that we're naturally attracted to it. Music artists, when they're creating their albums, it's the same thing. They create it that's visually appealing to their audience, to their fans. And we're doing the same thing for our audience, aligned with your life purpose and your vision that you're bringing into play. So when you're doing your branding and the umbrella brand, pardon me, it's ensuring that it has a long shelf life. That irrespective if you decide, you know what, I'm now going to, say for example, I said, I'm going to take up my acting, singing, dancing career 100%. And put aside what I'm doing as a business and brand strategist for creative visionaries. And I'm going fully into this. My brand would still be the same. It would still be brand Sashka, and the sub-brand, and everything is the same, irrespective of what profession I'm in. And I know a lot of marketers and advertisers are of a different opinion, because it doesn't tell people what you do. But I don't have to tell people what I do with my logo. It makes a statement, and it tells about me. It means something to me. And then when it means something to me, it'll mean something to my audience. I don't think I've ever seen of the more established music artists, Obviously, they have their doubts when something's being put together, but they didn't start off going, oh, I think when I'm singing, I should like totally be like for this audience because I'm totally singing for this audience. Like they are why I'm here. It's like, nah, I'm doing this, I'm singing this because I love singing this. I love being this. When a manager comes into play and then they transform you into something that you're not, somewhere breaks and then you realize that you're not that person, and then you blossom into the artist that you were born to be. Christina Aguilera, Demi Lovato, Lady Gaga, all of them, what are men artists, Elton John, all of them, they all go through whatever the manager said is good for the audience, but they're not doing it for themselves. So when you create your brand, ensure that it's you that you're bringing to the audience and not deciding what the audience wants and then bringing it to yourself. The branding is really important for the sponsors and the partners as well as for your audience. It gives you credibility. It shows you that you have consistency, that you have a goal, that you have a why, that you know who your audience is. You're organized, you know where this is going, and it's not a once-off happening event where the sponsor's like, well, is this going to happen again? Am I part of this in the future again? Or, how can we collaborate on something like this? And they're able to see this is something that I can see for the future moving forward. So it might not happen this year, but next year when you're running the event, that for me as a sponsor or a partner is like, proof of principle. Not bad. I'd like to be a part of this because the last one was such a success and you didn't give up. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so let me have a look over here, and then that's the branding. So if you have any questions, let me know. Then there is the advertising. And the advertising, the sole reason for advertising is to build your community and sell tickets to your event. Whether it's a free event or a paid event, it doesn't really matter. I just want to make this clear that the hardest part of an event is building your community. That's the hardest part of the event. You might have, how's that English? Thousands of followers, thousands, but they won't even buy a t-shirt because they're like, why am I buying this from you? I don't understand why I'm buying this from you, because there isn't a why that you've given them. They don't understand what the why is. There's many times, I can't remember who the person was. Oh, well, I'm not going to mention their names now, but I remember following them and going, what is the purpose of this person? I don't understand what they're actually, what's their messaging or where they're going with all of this. Why am I actually following this person? And it took them a while to understand why they were doing it. And thank goodness they reacted very quickly to it. Not just because of me, but I'm sure many people and themselves were going through that same question. And they put together, so there was always a call to action to join them at a live comedy session or to buy merchandising or to buy the book. So there was something tangible. So people weren't just following like for no reason whatsoever. They had a reason why they were following this person. And that person has a business. So they were also able to sell items as well, because selling is love. But that's a different story. Okay, so that is the advertising. Now, what I'd like to go through over here is also for the mind map. There we go, add to the stream. Is just to show you a little bit on this mind map, which is also available. I'll give you the link, or you can click the link in my bio on Instagram so you can find this mind map. Pardon me, it shows all the different things that you, from the checklist, without reading it, but it's visually spacious. So you're able to see, these are the things that I need. And it shows over here as well, what is it that you need for the marketing over here, your budget, your pricing, the speakers, the location, the venue, sponsors and partners. And also important, the name of your event, because you want to know that name, you have a domain, it's aligned with your vision and your purpose, it's aligned with your brand tonality and personality that you're going to be carrying forward. So will you be able to hear this name and focus on this name within 10 years when you're doing the event bigger as well? because you got to start somewhere. And obviously the pricing, there's also pricing between 20 and 50 people, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 350, and going up as well, what pricing you're going to be putting out there. That is the checklist. So let me just take this stop screen. There we go. What I wanted to talk to you about as well is 4 things that I mentioned right in the beginning is when you're running your event, there are 4 areas emotionally that are going to drain you, that are just going to completely kill you if you're not 100% sure, and you have to be 100% sure. It doesn't mean that you've implemented your why and your audience, but you need to know, why am I doing this and for which audience I'm doing this? Why for me and why for the audience? It's so, so important, because from that is where all the information comes from. Your messaging, your content, your brand, well, branding is part of it, your sponsors and your partners that you're going to be pitching to, just going, oh, I have this really cool idea. And I think, unless even the big stars need to be pitched to with a really, really cool idea. They have to understand the why and for which audience. And is it going to benefit me being a part of your vision? Making sure that, like speakers, align, that everyone's aligned. Now, what most visionaries, so there's 4 points, and I'm going to start with the first emotional point, that, and this is the truth about the events, is that yes, there's the checklist, but on the other side, when you flip the coin, the emotional side isn't always spoken about. And this, being aware of it is something, you're not going to prevent the mistakes, but you're aware of it and you're able to learn tools in order to cope with it. And I've written an article about it that I'll share with you so that you can go and read steps and tools that you can use now in order to start small to move forward when you're planning your event. And one of the things is, what visionaries love is that we think big. If you are someone that loves thinking big, let me know as well. If you're someone who loves thinking big, I'm just having a look here. If there's any questions here. Yeah. If you are a visionary, let me know with the comments or a heart or whatever. Yes, I'm a visionary. Let me make myself clear. And how many big ideas you have. I mean, there's so many big ideas. What leaves us procrastinating as visionaries when we have these event ideas is something really ironic. Visionaries don't like being told what to do, and we don't like boundaries. The trick, though, the irony is that the boundaries help us see how far we can go, the envelope that we can push, like how much, this is the limit. How much can I push it? How much can I push it forward? But when there's nothing, so when I just think big, but there's no boundaries, then I don't know, well, how far can I go with this big idea? Okay. And in order to play around with this, one of the tools that I use for myself as well is that I'll think of the biggest idea I could possibly think of. Then what I do is that I go, this is the perfect scenario. Like, this is how it's going to run. And I'm going to have this entertainment. And these people are going to be a part of it. And I'm going to have these speakers because they're freaking phenomenal. And I'm going to have this type of food. And we're going to have these type of breaks. And I map it all out. I draw it all out. I'm someone that needs to, I hear things. I'm auditive first. Then I need to write it out. And visually, so I visually see it, and I'm kinesthetic, so I can feel it. So I'm working all the stuff out. I'm going, oh my God, this is amazing. And then what I encourage you to do is go to the other side or flip the coin for the worst case scenario. Oh, okay, well, all of this over here, so the entertainment is going to cost this much, and this is working with the budget as well. The speakers are going to cost this much, the venue is going to cost this much, catering this much, the marketing, astronomical, it's going to cost this much, and this is what my big idea is going to cost, okay? And this is how it's going to look, and this is my perfect scenario. I can't make it happen because I don't have the money. It's always the first excuse. I don't have the money. Fuck that. Okay. I need you to flip the coin and go to the worst case scenario. And this is where the mental mind comes in, because often we tell ourselves, oh, well, I can't do that, so I can't do the event. Like when I was running, when I had the idea for the brand building retreat in South Africa after my event, and people like, oh, not everyone can come in May. And then the lodge was telling me September to November, the place isn't available, maybe in August. No. And I'm going, this is my perfect scenario. So my worst case scenario is to invite everyone onto my Future Forward Academy, which is online and it's live with me, but not one-to-one. But it doesn't mean the brand building retreat won't happen. It just means not now. Okay. But I still have my worst case scenario. So it's maybe a little bit watered down from a live event, but you get so much more on the online event. Okay. Now, for the worst case scenario, you're able to go, well, I can't afford this entertainment. Entertainment would be great. So maybe I can get something similar and start thinking out of the box. So maybe I can inquire at a music school or at a local club, because there's so much talent around. So maybe you don't need the top performing artist somewhere, but you can ask somewhere else for the entertainment that cost nothing, and they're so grateful for the exposure. And what you can offer them is that you got a videographer and a photographer available, and they're going to be filming it, and they can have the videos that they can use in their show reel, and you're going to be doing marketing for them as well. So it's win-win situation. So you see what the worst case scenario is. You can't have that top speaker, but who is someone similar in the field, and most likely, actually 99% of the time, the top speakers have an incredible amount of followers, but they don't have highly engaged consumers. So what you want to maybe look for are speakers that have highly engaged consumers aligned with your why and your audience, because they are the people that are going to bring in or help with selling tickets. They're the people that are going to have their community and collaborating with your community and bringing them together. And that's what you want, a win-win situation, because this is all nice. And it's like, oh my God, it's so amazing, but you can make it just as amazing in the worst case scenario. So think big, but start small. Okay. When we think big, like I said before, our minds as visionaries are like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You get very excited about it. And note where you feel it in your body, how excited you feel about it. Okay. And that excitement, note where it is and how it feels, and transfer it to the worst case scenario so you still feel that excitement. But this excitement, I'm going to tell you something now, the excitement won't be felt in the external worst case, best case scenario. It's going to be felt in your why and for your audience. When you know your why, it doesn't matter where you position yourself. Even if you were teaching in the Bundus somewhere, in, I don't know, bushwhacking somewhere, which would be fine, but anywhere but where you thought you were supposed to be doing something, when you have your why and you have your intellectual property that you're going to be bringing forward, that all doesn't matter. What matters is that you are having this feeling. Like when I saw the location for the Future Forward Hub event in October, and I saw these beautiful events, and I'm going, oh my God, this is so fancy and everything. And at the same time, I was like, but I want intimate. I was planning for 100 to 200 people, and I was like, I love intimate. I love being able to communicate with people. For me, it's so important to communicate and to exchange thoughts and ideas. And with 100 to 200 people, you can, but not as much and not as intimate as with 80 people. And when I saw this location, I was like, that's my why. That's coming alive in this venue. And this is how it's making me feel. And it looks like a worst case scenario because I've downsized from 100 to 200 people to 80, and I don't have all the entertainment and all the snazzy stuff from this big idea. And I've taken it down to my downsized idea, but it feels so good. It feels so good. And it makes my heart sing. And when it makes my heart sing, it's going to make my audience's heart sing because my why is being kept alive. So think big, start small. Second thing, I'm just going to say it, believe in yourself. It's so easy just to say, believe in yourself. It's like when people tell you, be you, be true to you, be authentic. I had a comment this morning. I did a live where I was reading out of a book. And one of the comments was, it's so good to see the real you. Or it's an honor to be able to see the real you. I didn't have makeup on and I was sitting in my pajamas and I had brushed my teeth and washed my face. I was just trying to think, did I? Can't remember. Hadn't started my day officially with everything, but I start my day with reading and meditating and journaling. And that was for them the real you. But that's me, whether I have makeup on, whether I am doing a show, whether I have a photo session, it's all me. And it's just the way we perceive it. Believing in yourself, in the article that I'm going to be sharing with you, the link is then in the bio and Instagram, and I'll put the link in Facebook, is that I have a few steps to help you believe in yourself. They're small steps, but what we tend to do is we see this big mountain. And for example, what may be like the big idea is that I want to reach 1 million people. And there's the big mountain over there. And we forget that we just have to start with the first step. So the first step is, okay, I need to create a habit for myself. I'm just using examples now, to start that small step, in that I need to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and journal. And I need to journal my feelings. And the feelings I'm going to be journaling is believing in myself that I can make that happen. And that's the first step. I'm not involving anybody else, but that's day one. Day two, I wake up, I might not wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm used to waking up at 7. So the first day is I'm waking up at 6:45. And the second day is at 6:30. And the third day, you know where I'm going with this. And starting small, like when you're meditating, do it for 1 minute, do it for 5, do it for 10. And before you know it, you're doing it for an hour. We tend to always see the mountain and get overwhelmed by it and then procrastinate because we don't start with the first step. And that first step is really, really, when you're holding your events, pardon me, you have to believe in yourself. You have to. You have to have an unquenchable thirst and resilient thirst to succeed. And the only way you can do that is if you believe in yourself. If you know without a shadow of doubt that this is your why, this is my life purpose and my vision, this is why I'm doing it and for the audience that I'm doing it. And if I don't do this, then I know that I'm failing myself, not anybody else, but myself, because I have been given this calling. And if I cannot be trusted with this small amount to do, how in the world am I going to be trusted to do a bigger amount to do? Okay. So you have to learn to believe in yourself, starting small and working your way up and believing in small things. I believe that I am incredible at seeing patterns. I believe that I am incredible at being a mom. I believe that I am phenomenal in seeing the good in people and not judging a book by its cover. And little things, and believe and build that up until you see yourself as yourself and believing in you. Okay, that's the second point. The third point is when you are going to be running your event, even if it's online, you have to engage with your community. You have to. It's all about engaging and not automating. What marketers, and I love automations. There's a lot of my emails that are automated, where I have a freebie, for example, the free breakthrough business plan that you can register for, and that's automated. But when a comment comes in and someone replies to an email that I've sent out, there's no automated message. I immediately reply to those people that write to me, because engagement builds a community. When I was doing my event for South Africa, nobody knew me in South Africa, okay? So creating this event from me in Austria, in Europe, all the way to South Africa, I had to communicate with people. So I'd go on, for example, one of the speakers, their profile, and see the people that would comment and feel aligned with the comments, and then write them personally and invite them personally to the event to find out more about the event, and then start a conversation. It took hours of my time to write to all those people. And Instagram only allows, like, I think it was 8 or 9 direct messaging, like straight after each other. Otherwise, they stop you, they ban you. And it's the same because they think it's a bot, and I do write really, really fast. I react fast. So thank you that you think that I'm automated, but I'm not. I'm pretty thankful. So using or engaging with your audience is what's going to create a community building, because one person might say, yes, I'm coming, and bring another friend, and that friend might go, no, I need to bring another friend, and then there's 3 people attending as opposed to just the one. But it all started with just reaching out and communicating, and this is so important. So what it means is that, oh, my live video ended. Hang on a moment. Oh no, it didn't download. One moment. So I'm just checking the connection on Instagram. It stopped my video. I couldn't go that live. It only goes for an hour. So I'm back with the second part. Engaging with your audience is so, so important, because it's going to help you build your community. I remember you'll often hear that, what's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk always mentions this, that for the longest time, I think he said he had to stop off 2 years ago. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. But before that, prior to that, he was personally answering all his direct messages, all his comments. I might be exaggerating. I think it might have been longer, 3 or 4 years. But then there were, now when he has something, there'll be comments like 10,000 comments. You'd be sitting there for a fucking long time answering those comments. So he has a team that helps him answer, the comments and stuff. But he always went and answered everyone to build a community. People that come to his events aren't coming there because they're just followers. They've been engaged followers and engaged community, because Gary communicates with you. And that's what I want for my community as well. And what I did is that I personally go and engage with people. And if you are scared of engaging, or you have a mental block, or you feel that you're being sleazy and slimy, these are limiting beliefs that need to be worked on, because you've only conditioned yourself up to this point to believe that that is how you are, but you're not like that. And it's not being sleazy and slimy. I've seen some sleazy, slimy direct messages where I'm just like, delete, because there's nothing personal about it. There's nothing communicative about it. And what you want to do, practice makes perfect, is start with the process of getting in connection with your community, DMing them, starting a conversation. You might suck in the beginning. People will go, oh my God, you are so salesy and so sleazy. It's like, okay, that's for now. So how do I better myself? How do I move past this? And this is what I mean about the truth about running events, is that everybody wants to automate it and put a wall over you and go, okay, well, I've built everything. Now they're going to come. It's like, no. You have to communicate with people. You have to actually engage with people. And you have to get over, what are they going to say about me? This is why you need to believe in yourself as well. It's so important, because you're going to be broken down. You're going to get a lot of no's, a lot of no's. And you have to learn to not take it personally and to see it as, probably not aligned with my why at the moment, or my audience. And I have to take it as, the universe has got my back. Everything's going to work out fine. I have to trust the process. Okay, that's the third thing. Fourth thing, and this, I don't, when I was writing the article, I would have given up had I not had my support circle. My support circle was literally one friend who kept me, I'm going to get all teary-eyed, who kept me sane through organizing an event in South Africa for about 18 months. Mom and dad were like, what are you doing? Just quit. Why are you putting yourself under so much pressure? This is not normal. No. And my friend kept saying to me, I don't know how you do it, but you're an inconquerable soul. and this is your why, and I need to remind you about your why and why you're doing it, suck it up, move forward. And I'll be like, okay, I needed to hear that. And that support circle, my one friend that believes in me no matter what, that is the friend that pulled me through everything, getting to the event to where it is now. Because you're going to hear a lot of no's, you're going to be scared of selling, you might not have the team in the checklist to help you put your website together for branding. You might not have email marketing or the email software. You might not have all the marketing vessels in place. You may feel small or a failure for not having that big best case scenario actually happening, and you have to revert to downsizing and this worst case scenario and feeling really, oh well, I'm not good enough because I can't do that big thing, so over here. And your support circle will go, no. You really that's how you feel? No, sorry. So you need that support circle to kick you in the butt and to remind you of what your why is and who your audience is and your life purpose and your vision, and to remind you why you're doing all of this, because you're going to go through so much mental frustration, crying, blaming, anger, resentment. So much is going to come to the surface. And all it started out with was this really cool idea that, oh my God, this should be fun. But there's a process. So there's the beginning, the input, and at the end you have your output. And in the middle, that process, it is so messy. It is so messy. And the truth is that a checklist is great to have to keep you accountable, to see what the marketing vessels are, what the tools are that are necessary. But in order to fill those vessels, you need to know what the emotional side is going to be about, the truth about it. And if that isn't stable, filling those vessels with who you are and your why and for your audience, it's going to drive you crazy, and it's going to make you feel like a failure, and you're not. Even if you had to quit or you had to postpone or delay it for a different time, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means for the next round, you need to work on those emotional things as well as the checklist in order to ensure that they're all aligned with one another and that you have everything in place. Sometimes we just run somewhere like a lost fart in a perfume factory and just kind of like, all right, let's make this place smell amazing. And it's like, listen, that fart can smell for a while. Just let it smell. It's fine. And then afterwards, it'll start smelling rosy again. But what's important is that you keep going and that you don't give up on your why and your reason why and your audience, your life purpose and your vision. So that is the training for today. I'm so glad that everyone joined back on Instagram. That's so cool. I'm so sorry. Everything died and I didn't save the freaking thing on Instagram. So it doesn't matter. But I've got it on Facebook. So that's cool. So I can download it as well, which is really, really awesome. All right, that is the training. I will put in the link for you to let you know where to read up on the article as well, where you can download the checklist as well and see the mind map for you as well. And I'm just going to go through the comments afterwards and reply to everyone because I don't want to take everyone's time because you've already given me an hour and 8 minutes. Thank you so much for your time. I so appreciate it. And please, if you think someone would love to hear this, please share it as well. And if you have any questions, you can direct message me, as you know, or as I've been saying now, I love communicating with everybody. And if you're a dickhead, I'm not going to communicate with you because I don't want you in my energy sphere. So just disappear. Poof. My best friend, one of my best friends always goes, turn to shut. So I use that sometimes when someone annoys me. I just go, turn to shut. Anyway, I'm now going to go home, make lunch. I'm so glad that you were here with me live. Comment, let me know that you've seen this, share it, love it, like it, so I know that you have appreciated this, that this has been helpful for you. And click the link as well when I put it in Facebook, or the link in the bio, in my bio in Instagram. You can click on that. It's on my blogs, The Truth on How to Run and Organize Events. So you can go straight in there and download the information. And I look forward to hearing about your events. Tag me. Let me know how you're going with your events so I can see the progress that's happening, and or how the information that you've learned for the training today has assisted you in making that event a reality. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you lots. Have an awesome weekend, and I see you again on Monday. And don't forget, futureforwardhub.com, the event in October in London, UK. And if you're wanting to find out your life purpose and your vision, to come and join us on Future Forward Academy, which is brandsashka.com/Wonderland. And you can join that for either 6 months or 12 months to work on your life purpose and your vision, that why, and your audience. All righty. Have an awesome day. Love you lots. Bye.